Welcome to the Instagram stories for Monday, June 9th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Today on the show, we'll hear from the head of Instagram, answering questions like, I see that my reel is shown to approximately the same amount of followers and non-followers. Is this a new thing? Also, he will handle a question about story highlights, which is something I continue to hate. And he'll talk about the debate about whether or not it is good to hide your likes on posts or keep them public. Additionally, I have a big announcement, which I am very excited to share with you. All of that and more on today's episode. But first, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back. Let's get into a big announcement about the show before we dive into the Ask Me Anything. If you've been following this show for a while, you have seen where I've interviewed multiple content creators on this show who do a weekly email newsletter of all the social media news that has happened over the past few days. Historically, I have not done that kind of email newsletter because I prefer to give you the updates in an audio format like this podcast. However, I am launching an email newsletter that will have all the social media news updates that I cover on the show. But if you prefer to read it, or perhaps you missed an episode and you just want to get caught up quickly, or you want to share the email newsletter with someone else, good news, you can now do that. I will link to how to sign up for my new email newsletter in the show notes. Feel free to sign up and let me know what you think. Now let's go on to the questions and answers from the head of Instagram. The first one. Lately, I see that my reel is shown to approximately the same amount of followers and non-followers. Is this a new thing? I'm going to play Adam's answer in a second, but keep in mind, this is a good thing. This is what you want. You want people who do not follow you to see your content because then they would potentially choose to follow you. Here's Adam's answer.
The question is, are a lot of different creators seeing more and more reach from accounts that do not follow them? And the answer is yes. Now, we want you to reach as many people who are interested in your content as possible. Because if you can, you'll be happier, they will be happier, and we'll do better as a business. The thing that's challenging is that in feed specifically, not stories, the amount that people are sharing is decreasing. So the way that we're growing the overall pie of reach is through recommendations, photos and videos from accounts that people do not follow. And I know that is somewhat contentious, but it's the only way to grow the reach for the average creator out there. So yes, lots of creators are seeing more of their reach coming from non-followers. Followers still matter. Connected reach is still a thing, contrary to popular belief. You cannot reach all of your followers because some of them aren't on Instagram anymore. Some of them don't use Instagram in a given day, and sometimes we make ranking mistakes. But unconnected reach is how we are trying to grow the pie for the average creator out there.
That effort to provide more unconnected reach is appreciated. I personally have not experienced it, but it's nice to know that that is Instagram's goal. Let's go on to the next question, which has to do with story highlights. As a reminder, I hate story highlights and I think they are useless, primarily because I don't think many people watch them. And number two, you have no way of knowing if anyone watched your story highlights because there are no data analytics provided to you about your story highlights. The question, should I use story highlights? Why?
You don't have to use story highlights. You don't have to use every feature that we offer. I know that can be sometimes stressful. We want to offer a suite of tools you might find useful, and then you should pick the ones that are aligned with your goals. Highlights are a great way to keep stories around that you want to have stick around, but that's not for everyone, and that's okay.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. Is it bad to hide my likes? This is an interesting one. I would say it's definitely not bad to hide your likes. I've hidden mine for years at this point. But if you do want to partner with brands, you may want to turn that on or send them screenshots of what your analytics are like so they can see how much engagement you're getting on posts. Here's Adam's answer to the question, is it bad to hide my likes?
No, it's definitely not bad. You can either hide likes on your posts, so nobody can see how many likes you got on your posts, or you can just hide likes from your feed so you won't see how many likes are on everything that you see in feed if it's just stressing you out. It's a great way to depressurize the experience if likes bother you.
Okay, let's go on to the next question, which has to do with getting more reach by partnering with someone else as a collaborator. The question, does collab posting with a bigger creator help my reach? I'm going to let Adam give the answer, but it's yes. And what you want to do is have whoever has the larger audience or larger following originate the post and then add the other person as a collaborator.
It should. It does. I would recommend having the larger of the two creators initiate the collab. That seems to do better. We're trying to fix that so it doesn't matter, but for now, that does seem to help. And it will allow that post to go to not just your followers, but their followers as well. And because they have more, that will help you reach.
The next question has to do with AI. Do you think AI will turn social networks into artificial networks? This is a very good question, and I do kind of think this will be a trend that happens in the very near term, where most of the content that you see on Instagram and TikTok will be AI generated either fully or partially.
I think there's going to be more and more content that is either entirely created with AI or partially created with AI. I think that that's not going to mean that we still don't talk to each other. There isn't real content as well, but it will mean that we all need to be somewhat skeptical and think about who is saying something, not only what is being said, whenever we're trying to evaluate the veracity of what we're seeing online.
Someone should make a new social media platform that does not allow any AI generated content at all, and it only accepts content from friends and family and people that you know in real life because you have some kind of connection with them, like their phone number or something. AI content would be 100% blocked on that platform. You could call it organic or original or something like that. If you want to make a platform like that, send me a DM. Let's partner up on it. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some new features on Instagram that you might be familiar with. And we'll do some silly questions that people have asked Adam Mosseri, like, do you own Instagram? Stick around. Welcome back. Continuing with the questions and answers from the head of Instagram. And the next one, are you keeping Blend? If you're not familiar, Blend is a feed of reels that you can create with someone else who you DM with, and then it will show you reels that both of you will potentially like. Here's the answer to, are you keeping Blend?
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep it. It's a really fun feature. It's not used by the majority of people yet, but it's growing. Basically, if you don't know what Blend is, when you go to a DM thread, either a one-on-one thread or a group thread, you can start a blend. Everyone has to opt in, and then you get a feed of reels for all of you. And you can see which reels for which person. It's a pretty fun way to explore not just your own interests, but your friends as well, to connect over creativity, so to speak.
That question struck me as a little bit odd since they just launched Blend within the past few weeks, but whatever. Next question. Do you own Instagram? Obviously not. Meta owns Instagram. Here's Adam's answer explaining this.
No, nor did I found Instagram. I have been leading Instagram for going on 7 years. Instagram is owned by Meta, which used to be called Facebook. It's a large company. We also own WhatsApp and Messenger and Oculus, and we make other things as well. And I work for that larger company. And I was hired to work on Instagram from the Facebook app in 2018. And when the founders left, later that year, I applied for and got this job. So I have been trying to shepherd Instagram forward for the last 6 or 7 years.
And the last question we're going to talk about, what's the one leadership rule that you've never compromised on? This is an interesting question.
Don't hire jerks. It's never worth it. The thing that we sometimes do as leaders is we hire someone who's amazing and we think it's worth managing their downsides if they're mean or nasty. But the truth is, most of what we do anyway is collaborative. You have to work with other people. And if someone is bad energy or negative or a jerk, it tends to demotivate the people around them. And then even if they're amazing, they often create more downside than upside by making the people around them less productive. So don't hire jerks.
I actually like that answer because oftentimes it's very tempting to just dismiss a person's behavior and say, oh, well, they get results or that's just how they are. So respecting the fact that if people are jerks, they're not going to get along well with others and therefore would not be a good element to the team. I really like that. Okay, that is going to do it for the questions and answers from the head of Instagram. Just as a reminder, if you would like a weekly roundup of all the social media news that I cover on the show, you can sign up for my new email newsletter, and the link to do that is in the show notes. As always, thank you for listening, and be sure to come back next time for more social media news, strategy, and other things that you need to know.
Let me tell you a couple things that you should know about me. A product manager but do not have a bachelor's degree. But actually that's factually a fraction of me. And other fractions posting content irregular and irrationally. Still probably won't get a job at the Gram. They forgot, they don't know, or don't care who I am. That's why you never see me at the parties and events. My lack of followers must make me irrelevant. Don't have a course, a book to sell to make a bag of grand. Not a social media marketer, don't represent any brands. Plain to see, don't have an agency, but I got a lot of spam. Just putting in the work, without the glitz and glam. Won't catch me eating fish, unless it's shrimp or clam. No six pack, no risk that, there's a gym card in my hand. Don't have a full-time job, but I got a lot of plans. Stay plotting, dropping knowledge on TikTok and Instagram.